Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our weekly Friday money talk. I am currently in Bosnia, and don't ask me how I've ended up here. I've just ended up here. Hi, Gabby. Hello. And I'm looking at the most beautiful mountains right now. Hello, Catherine. Sometimes the IG names are so interesting. I don't know how to pronounce it. Silvo. Krafttankstelle Selbstliebe ausgetrunken. Hello. Good morning. So beautiful that you guys are in the house. And it's so funny. Yesterday, Ed and I were laying in bed and hello Ricardo, and I told him, hello Britta. So nice to see some familiar faces and names. And we were laying in bed and I said, isn't it weird? Now we're going to all the places like they were not even on our list, not even on our mind. When we left New York in February, we were like, okay, Ed was like, I want to go to London, I want to go to Paris. I really want to go to Portugal. So what happened so far? Like, first of all, we were like, if we ever make it to Europe, those were the places we wanted to go initially. So far, we've been to Iceland, we've been to London, and then we've been to Croatia, and now we're in Bosnia. And it's so wild because we've been just following the flow. I'm really excited. We're going to see the pyramids. We've just booked a private tour. Hello, Brit, because Brit recommended it. Brit recommended the pyramids in Bosnia. For a very long time, I didn't even know that there are pyramids in Bosnia. And just at the beginning of the year, I think in March, it popped up like everywhere. Like I was on Instagram, like the signs, I received so many signs within a week or month. Bosnia and the pyramids, and now I feel like it's everywhere. It's very insane. So I'm super excited for our private tour tomorrow, all day being there. I heard the energies are so strong, so intense. So I can already tell you guys I'm gonna ask for something amazing for you, for me, for us, for this community. And this kind of brings me to today's topic. I would like to talk about. And so often we start a new cycle in our life super strong with a big celebration. Maybe you remember the first time you did go to school. It was a big deal, big celebration. Then it stopped, more or less. It didn't really matter if it was 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 8th, 10th grade, no matter what. It was just something you did. When we start our business, very often in the beginning, it's all about, yeah, I'm so excited to start my business. And then we kind of forget to celebrate. And we have the same energy in the beginning of a year. We start a new year and it's like, wow, I'm so pumped. It's a new year. I'm going to change. And by the end of January, the energy is gone. And this is actually an awareness I've received in the program First Millionaire in 2023, in the beginning of the year. I had one client and that hit me really hard. And I'm sharing the story, so maybe do a check in how you're feeling about this. And we were talking about it, that very often she started a project, but she wouldn't finish the project. Maybe you can resonate a little bit. You start things, but you don't really follow through, you don't finish. And then there comes this point where we're almost a little bit mad at us for starting something, but not finishing, not following through. Although we think it's important. Like when you have a business, wouldn't it make sense to start selling and end selling? Wouldn't it make sense when you have a business, to start posting on social media daily and finish posting, like really being consistent. And so many people don't. And of course we can go there and like, hey, you need the discipline, you need the motivation, yada yada yada. This is all true. However, when I'm always looking back, there's only so much, I personally believe, we can do with like power and discipline in doing. However, this is always just treating the symptom. And I'm a huge fan to check, hey, what's actually the root cause? What's the root cause of what? Why am I actually, for instance, not posting every day on social media while having a business when I know it's beneficial, especially in the beginning? Wouldn't you agree it's beneficial? The more people know you, it's probably easier to sell to more people, or the chances are higher. So what we came to the conclusion in that coaching was, in the beginning of the year, that we have a cycle that starts and that ends. And we've been trained in Western society, if something comes to an end, that's not just something is over, a cycle is complete. Yeah, it's one cycle that's complete. There's an ending. And the word ending is something, it's tragic, it's bad. It's like our life is complete in this lifetime. The circle, our life comes to an end. And sometimes, so many people think, for instance, death is something terrible, or I think, hey, it's just a cycle that's complete in this lifetime. And then my soul can decide and go again. So what happens very often is, when we think that something comes to an end, we think it's really, it's over, it's like taken from us, we lost something. When things come to an end, when the cycle is complete, very often we think like we lose something. The energy that's attached to it subconsciously is very often fear, scarcity, anger, sadness, but it's not excitement. It's not celebration. Wow, I've completed something. This is actually the only thing school taught me. Like, if I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, this is something brilliant school taught me. I can remember we always celebrated, at least at my school, the first day of the new school year, which was always something great, was always and only like a half day. Like, very often I just would go to school on the first day of a new school year, no matter the school. And I was like, I just received my schedule today. I'm complete. Amazing. So this was a celebration because it was only half a day at school. Yes, jackpot. And also the last day of school, of that school year, was also only half day. And we would have like breakfast, like a celebration breakfast with my class. And then we would receive our report cards, and then the day was over. That was also only a half day. So it was a celebration. So we always celebrated the beginning and the ending. But it was never this feeling of like, oh man, I made second grade now. Oh, I think my life is over. But it was like, oh cool, I finished second grade and now it's time to go again. Third grade, new cycle. But the energy was always celebration, being grateful for a cycle that has been completed, and being eagerly excited for what's coming next. There was never the energy of, wow, a cycle is complete, that's an ending, man, it sucks. Oh man, it sucks, I will never go to the second school year again. Oh. And someone already commented, so true, I already can feel the pain. Yeah, and if we don't pay attention and do a check-in what we truly feel about an ending, and we think like really an ending is an end, and we don't think in this metaphor of like it's a cycle, and a cycle is complete, and that's wonderful, that's magic, and then I go again for a new cycle. The energy changes because all of a sudden it becomes so important to start something new in the energy you desire, and also to end that cycle in the energy you desire. And why am I talking about this? Not just only because I saw it in clients, but I had this myself, especially when I was an employee. I was always so hyped to start. And then the moment I quit and I decided to leave, and especially in investment banking, I think our notice period was 3 months. So I don't know why in Germany people would do those kind of contracts. I think it's weird. Yeah. I mean, a whole new topic. I personally think it's dumb, because I was there, I quit. The moment I quit, actually already a month before, and I was still on payroll for 3 months. And obviously my motivation was not the highest. And that's a whole new story. So what happened back then, I was not interested in ending a cycle in a strong way. Instead, I'm like, I don't care about my attitude. I was just not all in. All I have to say, being honest, I was not all in after quitting. Looking back now, this is why we're here. We've just reached today, officially, the last quarter of this year. And so many people, like I said, you guys start the year amazingly powerful, and then it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it gets to that point where it's like, oh man, I'm so happy the year's over. I just want to end it. I'm done. And what about just something I ask you to consider? Something to tune in. Maybe it's something you resonate with at this point. What if you would decide the last quarter of this amazing year, I'm gonna end in the strongest way possibly I can? What if the last 90 days of this year matter the most? Because for me, as always, the way I end a cycle, I take that energy with me to start the new cycle. And wouldn't you agree, it's so much more fun. It's if we end strong and we start strong, that there's some power, some magic happening. And very often what's happening is that we don't see immediate results. If, let's say, you haven't made the money you wanted to, you don't have the amount of clients, your business is just not at the point where you desire to be, we're always at this energy sometimes, I'm like, I don't care, whatever, the year's over, whatever, the year's over. It's not true. The year's not over till December 31st. And especially when you're having an online business, meaning people can buy at any price point in any moment, you can make still unlimited money till the end of the year. And right now that's more than 120 days. And wouldn't you agree, if you think about it like this, everything and anything can happen in 120 days? If I look back in the last 5 years of my business, I've always made the most money in the last quarter. By far. By far. And all I'm asking you today is to invite the energy, set the intention that you are ending this cycle, this year, so much stronger, so much more powerful, so much more abundant, whatever that means to you, than you've started. And really in this energy of, wow, I'm celebrating that this cycle, this year is coming to an end. In the energy of, wow, and then there's already a new year and I can go again. Not coming from that energy or perspective, something is bad and I have to improve something. This is not what we're inviting. I'm asking you to celebrate the cycle you're currently in. I'm asking you to celebrate that there's still 120 days, even I think 123 of this year, and you can create the wildest, biggest, craziest magic in those days? And are you seeing this opportunity? Are you feeling this opportunity? Are you ready to explore this opportunity? Are you ready to go all in? Are you ready to make those last 120 days the strongest, the most powerful days of this year? No matter what happened before. Because whatever happened before brought you to this moment, to this live stream, to today, to remind you that if you have a business, and even if you don't, whatever you're asking for can show up any second. Whatever you desire to have, it's out there. It will show up for you. Are you showing up for the things you desire to have? Are you a true match? If you would, let's say you desire more money, because we talk so much in this community about money. Let's say you really, really want to have your first 6-figure month this year. Asking yourself, the way I'm showing up right now, would I be a cool match? Would 100K, for instance, would love to show up in my bank account? Do I think I'm a match? Is this like value attracts value? And very often the answer is actually no. If I would be money and the way I'm showing up for the money, I kind of see why the money doesn't like me. Why the money doesn't want to show up. And if you haven't joined, I highly, highly, highly can recommend Cash Magnetism. It's a 3-part training. We just started with the first training yesterday. And it was really understanding what money is, how to become a cash magnet. Like, what are the things you can do this second to change, to become magnetic to cash, to money, and to really understand the frequency of it, to really see what money is, to really see what money is not, but just what you think in your head money is. I'm just saying, so often we think like, if people have money, if I have money, I'm worth more. It's not true. Your own self-worth is unlimited. You're worthy. And worthiness is never attached to a number in your bank account. Although in English we say, I'm worth, it's not true. People say in America, I'm worth, I don't know, 25 million. I think it's not true. It would be, I have assets that have a value of 25 minutes. Or I own assets that have a value of 25 million, whatever it is, huh? But there's a true discrepancy for me. One is the worthiness I have, you have as a being, and it's not attached to the things we have. And then the other one is seeing the value of money. I have money that has a value of XYZ. I have material things that have a value of XYZ. But understanding they're complete two different things. At the moment we can separate them, really, really true magic happens. So if this is something you're resonating with and you feel like, oh wow, this is already really mind-blowing, I haven't thought about it like this, really, really, I highly invite you to Cash Magnetism. And it's really life-changing, the program. So there are 2 calls coming up next Wednesday and next Friday. And you find all programs I'm talking about in the store. So this is what I wanted to share with you for today. And as always, you have the full power to change your current financial situation, anything in your life, because you're worthy. Because you're worthy. And we don't need the amount of money we desire to have in order to change. I always say money follows, it's like 3 steps. The first step is always, okay, how can I make more cash? How can I have more cash in my bank account? First step. Then the second step is to have more money. And for the third step, investing the money you have, the more you have, that will have a bigger impact when it comes to investing. But the first two steps, making more money and having more money, no money is involved. Like, we don't need it, no matter the amount. It makes it easier, but it's not required. And I want you to understand this on a deeper level, because very often people say, oh, I'm in this situation, I am in this situation, I am in, and that's why I can't change. But it's not true. People very often ask me in the beginning, actually the first 5 years, I've just started investing on a deeper level now, after making more than 12 minutes. Because before I had to master how to make money, that money comes in. There were a lot of things I had to learn, and I desired to learn about it. And the second part is really to have money, to hold money. Because I feel so many of you can resonate with it, that we make more money, but then at the end of the month, it's not there. Why? Why you receive money and you can't hold it? Like, you really have money. You have money in your bank account. You always have the money, the amount you desire in your bank account. And that was another thing I had to learn. And this lesson for me, to hold money, to always have money, to always have more than enough money in my bank account, was for me personally much harder than to learn how to make more money. And very often people don't teach you that. They go straight into phase 3 investing. I personally believe, of course, everything's always possible, but we see, checking the past, when people didn't learn how to make more money nor to hold the money, then they lost it again. I'm just saying, talking about the people, for instance, winning the lottery, receiving money, like big sums of money they didn't make, pensions, or selling houses with a huge profit margin and stuff like that. And you see very often, if they didn't do the first 2 steps, they lost it, or they spent it on very silly things. So for me in life, everything comes in order. There's an order to master certain things. That's why when you're born, first you learn to breathe, to eat, to walk. It's not to read. It's not to write. The first things we're learning as a baby are not to read, to write, to talk. Yeah? This is obviously open for discussion and we can talk about it. But for me in life, to certain areas, there's a divine order. And something magical happens if we follow that divine order. And money has a divine order. So, thank you for your knowledge, makes sense. Happy to be in service about money. Because if we understand the divine order and how money works and what it is, magic happens so fast. And I deeply, deeply believe if you're starting to raise your consciousness also about money, and people have more money, know how money operates and how to make more money, and then also how to invest money, the world will change. Because so often we complain about the people like, those up there, they have all the money, they have so much, they don't need it. It's true, but we only change something if everyone, and that's literally every one of us, is gonna say, hey, I desire more money and I take more money. Because the way can never be like, okay, the ones that have so much, we take it away from them. Whatever like laws, politicians desire to do. For me, the energy can never be someone that has created, we take it away. It always has to be the rest of us has to step up and say, I desire more money and I'm willing to learn about it and I'm willing to change. And I'm willing to put in the work what it takes to change my financial situation. And the moment that happens, there's gonna be change. Change that lasts on this planet. And for that, we need all of you, every single one, to raise up, to ask different questions, to show up different, and to learn about money, the frequency, and how it works and how it operates. like you showed up in school when you didn't know how to read and to write. So every time you didn't know, you showed up and you studied. And it's the same with money. You are the person that initiates the change, not someone else. I love you and can't wait to see you. And there's so many cool things happening in my world. Like I said, the master training Cash Magnetism is happening right now. The next 2 live calls are gonna be next week. So if you're not in there, it's, yeah, we take this conversation to a whole new level. And we've just launched Cash Explosion of the Year. This is one of my signature programs. I'm so excited. It's really how to make the last 90 days of this year to your most successful ones when it comes to money. Like, this is a 90-day program. We will start October 1st, and it's all about ending the year in the strongest way. So if you desire to have a cash explosion in your business and really focus on selling and focus on money, on how to make more the last 90 days of the year, I highly recommend this program. And there's also going to be a mastermind if you want to be in close proximity with me, starting October 1st till the end of the year. And there's also one spot available in my one-on-one coaching, and it's either for 3 months or for 6 months. So if you feel like, hey, this could be something I'm interested in, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help you, and so grateful for you to be here in this community. And thank you for spending your Friday morning with me for Money Talk. I love you, and I will see you next Friday. Mwah.